Unmute the audio.
Good, good. All right, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get our meeting started. We'll start by the Pledge of the American Flag and follow that by a moment of silent reflection, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Nolan, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Mrs. Johns.
Here.
Mr. Kimmerer.
Here.
And Mr. Smeltzer.
Here.
All are present. We've had an opportunity to review the minutes of both the August 3rd and August 5th meeting. We'll start with the August 3rd meeting. If everything looks good, we'll entertain a motion to approve as is.
So moved.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister moved to approve as is. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Johns second the motion. Any discussion on the matter? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister.
Yes.
Ms. Johns.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes,
Mr. Kimmerer.
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer.
Yes.
motion passed. Now the minutes for the August 5th meeting. Same thing, if we need to make any changes, we'll make them now. If not, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the minutes of August 5th.
Mr. Smeltzer's moved to approve.
Second, Mr. President.
Mr. Kimmer second the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Smeltzer.
Yes.
Mr. Kimmerer.
Yes.
Mrs. Conrad Zingmeister.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes,
And Ms. Johns.
Yes.
motion passed. Moves to 1.7, adjustments to the agenda. Are there any?
There are none at this time.
No adjustments this evening, thank you. This is right on into information discussion. Start with superintendent updates. Mr. Belleville.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Thank you, everybody being here. I know with weather and start of school and just kind of a lot of activity in the community, a lot going on, so we do appreciate everyone taking the time to be here. Tried to keep the agenda fairly short. Just want to hit a couple highlights, and again, as we go through the agenda, if you have questions at any time, let me know and be more than happy to discuss things further or provide additional information. But a couple highlights, off the top, very excited to welcome Christy George to the district, pending board approval, be the new treasurer. Had the opportunity to work with Christy's family in various capacities here in the district and get to know them personally. I think this is a great move for the district to bring somebody in with her background, knowledge, and just ties to the community. I think that a great thing for the district, and excited to start working with her. So looking forward to that. Also, want to say thank you to Amy for stepping in, being interim, especially at this time of year with all of the changes with the forecast and it, coming in August and all of the uncertainty with property taxes and those type of things. And Amy will get into all of that, but she's done a great job since stepping in. Really has put in a lot of time, effort, and energy. So do appreciate that. Thank you for that, Amy. We are incredibly blessed and lucky to have you here. So also on the agenda, you'll notice an amendment to our athletic handbook. Want to give a shout out to Mr. Schaefer, Mr. Johns, and Mr. Harris. We've always had a provision in our handbook to allow 7th graders to come out for a sport during the first week of school. Just being new to sports, organized school sports and not youth league, we always want to give our coaches an opportunity to potentially recruit kids that first week of school that maybe they didn't know start dates and how things worked with OHSA. So we've always had that. And I think it was Wednesday night during the high school open house, just seeing the passion and energy that Mr. Schaefer and Mr. Johns have established over there, and the energy coming from the staff and really encouraging kids to get involved and be a part of something bigger than themselves, and seeing how things have happened throughout our district with PBIS, but at the high school, the +1, the AAA, really good stuff. We sat back and we had a situation, Coach Myers had reached out, and a student had contacted him and wanted to come out for cross country, and the concern we've always had is somebody consciously making a decision to skip all of the hard, hot practices in early August and then come out during school and just be there for the games and the quote-unquote fun stuff. So that was always a concern of ours, but on the flip side of that, with freshmen going from middle school to high school and just being new to everything at the high school, we really kind of looked at that model we have with 7th grade and said, you know, why don't we give an opportunity to freshmen to perhaps come out during that first week of school. Maybe they hadn't considered playing, maybe they go to open house and they hear the message from our high school principals and see a level of excitement that maybe, you know what, I do want to get involved. And so you'll see in our recommendation that we have a very small window for freshmen to come out for a sport. We also provided in there that there has to be so many days of conditioning and those type of things before they're eligible to compete in competition. So I think we put some guidelines in there to try to prevent somebody from just skipping out and missing the really difficult parts, but while still providing a small window to where you know, our staff can influence kids and maybe get them out. So would appreciate the board considering that change, and we would make that retroactive to August 10th when that was the first week that school started. So you'll see in the language that most years we start school on a Thursday. We would allow students to come out during the first week, during the week that school starts. So that's a very small window there that, you know, they'd have an open house plus 2 days of school and then have the opportunity at that point if they wanted to come out. So I appreciate your consideration on that. You also see a superintendent's agreement between Lakewood and Fairfield Union to allow a student to attend Fairfield Union. This is a student who has been with us for multiple years. Parents moved. There are provisions in state law that allow seniors to stay in a school if they move, even if it's not a connecting school district. Our open enrollment, you have to be connecting to us to have open enrollment. This Lakewood is not a boundary school district for us, so technically shouldn't have it, but there is provisions in the law for seniors to do this. So I reached out to Lakewood. This student isn't a senior, but we felt because the student had been here for multiple years, the grandparents still live in the district. The grandparents provide support and care for the child before and after school every single day, have for multiple years. So Lakewood was very cooperative as well. We felt it was in the student's best interest to stay here, so that's what that superintendent's agreement is. And then obviously the big ticket item is the August forecast, and Ms. Nolan will get into that more later. So any questions on the agenda? Again, as we get to those spots in the agenda, I'd be more than happy to fill in any blanks or questions, answer any questions. Start of school is off to a really solid start. Just a huge thank you to our staff, teachers, aides, maintenance workers, bus drivers, our administrators. They've done an incredible job to get us off and going with the weather, especially this morning. Our drivers, you know, we talk about this every year during the winter, but even on days like today, you don't worry because of how great our staff is in the transportation department. So just a huge thank you to our staff, students, parents for getting us off to a really solid start. So excited for a good school year. Also want to bring attention to our donation drive. Sunday morning, Mr. Schaefer had reached out to me and said, hey, what do you think about starting a donation drive to support not only our community, but Crooksville and New Lexington areas, and just a great idea. So we took off running with that idea Sunday morning, and by Sunday afternoon, we really kind of had the structure in place of what we were going to do, how we were going to do it. We're focusing on cleaning supplies and bottled water, and that's after having conversations with superintendents in those school districts as well as first responders. We're working with the Richland Township Volunteer Fire Department. Drop-off sites for donations are moving in those communities based on the water. Great example, Crooksville was using their community center for their donations, and on this second round of rains, the community center flooded and they lost a lot of their donations, specifically cleaning supplies. So, there's so many things that those communities need, but we felt like if we kept our focus on just cleaning supplies and bottled water, that's what we were hearing was needed most, and it helps us in terms of collecting items and then getting them there. So the way this will work, we started today, we will accept donations from 8 to 3 every single day at the high school. The ag department is helping us with that. We have our athletics trailer and our band boosters trailer that we'll use to load items into those trailers. We'll take the trailers to Richland Township Fire Department, we'll unload with them, and then the fire department will transport down into New Lex and Crooksville. We're still hearing that essential personnel only in those areas, so we'll the Richland Township, Dalton Vandermark, his team were just, right there. We called them and immediately, yeah, whatever you need, we're all in. So they'll transport for us to take items down, so we're appreciative of their help. And so we're collecting daily at the high school, then Thursday night, soccer game, Friday night, football game. We'll have the trailers at the gates to where people can drop off donations during those games as well. So we've already had a tremendous response. We had donations come in today during school, and we were going to collect at volleyball game tonight, but Crooksville had to cancel the volleyball game. So we went ahead and stayed open from 3 to 5, and we had people dropping off donations between 3 and 5, and just so encouraging to see our students, our National Honor Society students, stayed after school to unload people's cars for them. So you see these high school kids out there in the pouring rain, they're soaking wet, unloading people's cars so that they don't have to, and it just it's what it's all about, being there for your neighbors and helping them out, and seeing our staff, our kids, our community jump in so quickly is really, we talk about this place being different and special, and just one more instance, one more example. So really really proud of our team for getting this up and going so quickly. So we'll continue that all week. And then coming up quickly, September 5th, we will have our Land Lab Community Day. That'll be on Saturday, September 5th from 12 to 3. We'll have our recognition ceremony at 1 o'clock at the Shelter House, and this year we're recognizing the McGee family and obviously Sally Grimm and her family for just not only their constant support of all things Fairfield Union, but for their generous donation for the construction of our new Welcome Center. So that it should be a great day. I'm gonna, fingers crossed that this weather, we're getting it out of our system now, and it'll be nice on the 5th. Mr. Kimmer, anything you want to add to that?
No, just energized and excited for that community day event coming up. As Mr. Belleville mentioned, the McGee family with Mrs. Chris McGee and then her daughter Melissa Eaton, they'll be in attendance of that, so that's truly a highlight. And the Rushville Lions, with them being there, Jeff and Tina and other staff, the support of the exhibitors, we'll have history there. We'll have the blacksmithing, and FFA will be there doing apple cider and caramel apples.
So that's kind of been a big hit. Hats off to Mrs. Toller leading the Honor Society kids. It really, as I mentioned, energizes you when you see these young students. She sets them up to help, set up to help during the event, and then to help break down. And they took it on themselves, the Honor Society students, and they give guided tours to family members. And that has been a big hit, enlightening to see that. Wagon tours is always such a insight about the land lab of the 37 acres back there. And then, so we're real excited about it coming up, and how thankful we are, as Mr. Belleville said, in another way, with just the community we have. And it's just a way for us to reach back and say thank you to the community. So we're excited for the event, and hopefully, you know, weather, you know what, no matter what the weather is, I can remember the one year, our first year, actually we looked at the shelter house, and I'd written inside, the shelter house was built back in 2016. So it's been 10 years since the shelter house has been there. But the 11th year, we had it in the tent, and we had it in November, I think, and it was snow. And so I don't know what kind of weather could come at us, could be any worse than what we had in the 11th year. So, yeah, but real excited for the event, and the birdhouse painting, and seeing those families with those little kids going home with under their arm with a little birdhouse that they painted themselves. It's pretty neat. So, yeah.
And that's all I have for this evening, unless there are any questions. All right.
That will move us then to public comment section. I don't believe anyone is signed.
No one's
So we'll move right on into consent agenda section, workshops and conferences. We have Casey Wilkerson to the 2026 OEDSA conference, September 17th and 18th in Columbus.
It's EMIS Coordinators Conference, and this is a normal conference for us.
Moving on to financial items, 4.2. Mrs. Norman.
Okay. We'll go through this quickly since I'm going to be doing the forecast. This is just the financial recap for the month of July, which, as you know, is just the first month of the fiscal year. So it's kind of a start-off point. Revenues, we received a total revenue of 4.8 for the beginning of the year compared to last July of 7.6. This is a decrease simply because of the way property taxes are coming in late this year. As you can see in number 1, property tax was at $975 this year versus $3.2 million last year. Last year at this time we received all 3 of our advances by the end of July, with the last advance always being our largest advance. This year we've only received 2 out of the 3. However, we expect our 3rd and largest advance to come here shortly and be receipted in shortly. Income tax was actually a little bit higher than compared to last year. We'll touch on that when I talk in the forecast, just talking about projected versus actuals. You know, there's always room for a positive. Sometimes we talk about the negative, but there can always be positive in that too once we see those actuals. State Foundation totaled just over $1 million compared to 1.1 in fiscal year 26. We're seeing that across the state. And then other revenue, pretty much flat, and that's just kind of our interest that's staying there. Expenditures, total expenditures equaled 2.3 compared to 2.2 last year. Pretty spot on. Personnel services, it looks like a lot at 11.2, but if you look at the actual numbers, it's not that much. It's pretty much the increase in some salaries and things. Benefits, benefits is where you see that big increase, $634,000 versus last year of $531. This is due to the increase in insurance premiums. So that is up. Purchase services, 247 versus 278. The actual number there is not that much of a difference. And then supplies are at $37,000 versus $136 last year, and that's because last year we purchased laptops in July, which we didn't do this year. So Operating transfers out, we have not done that so far in July. The first transfer will occur later this year, and I'll leave that up to our new treasurer to determine where those transfers are. Overall, revenue is under expenditures by 2.3 for the month, and that is due to the delayed property tax payments. Good news, ending cash balance is 13.5 compared to last year at 12.4. This is good news that we're sitting at a higher cash balance compared to last year when we've yet to receive our final and largest property tax payment.
Yeah.
So we're in a good spot. So that's the financial recap. Does anybody have any questions about that? Like I said, that's just for the month of July. Oh, yes. I also have a donation of $500 from John Snyder for athletics. So I don't want to forget that. Thank you to the Snyder family. We always appreciate our donors in this district. They are a big part of our district. So. Okay, and then insurance. Revenue is at 584 versus 424 last July. It is up. Those are the monthly premium increases. We increased Plan A by 35% and Plan B by 20%. Total expenditures are 696 versus 544 last year. That's up too. And that's just going to show that the actuaries from the insurance company were correct in saying that we had to do something about increasing our premiums. So it's kind of tracking as expected. Cash balance ended the month at just over $4 million compared to just over $4 million last July. Just as a reminder, the board, when we talked about the insurance premiums back in June, we are planning to take about $1.1 million of expenditures for the year from the 024 Health Insurance Fund to help offset the additional increase in premiums needed. So that will be coming out of the 024 Insurance Fund to help with those increased expenditures. Dental insurance staying steady, flat compared to last year. Cash balance ended at $269 compared to $253 last year. And that is all I have for the financial items for right now.
Any questions from the board? If not, I'd just like to reiterate appreciation for the donation from the Snyder family. And with that, we will move on to 4.3, motion to approve the consent agenda items as recommended by the superintendent treasurer.
I move to approve the consent agenda items as recommended by Superintendent Treasurer, Mr. President.
Mr. Kemmer has moved to approve.
Second.
Mr. Smeltzer second the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Kemmer.
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer.
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Johns.
Yes.
Motion passed. Move on to the new business section. 5.1, this is a motion to approve a 2-year treasurer contract for Christy George, beginning September 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2028. I think we've all had the chance to review that contract, so any questions or discussion? Not entertaining a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the 2-year contract for Christy George as our new treasurer.
Mrs. Johns moved to approve. I will second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ms. Johns.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister.
Yes.
Mr. Kemmer.
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer.
Yes.
Motion passed. It's official.
I'll just go this way. Thank you.
There was a lot longer pause whenever there was a.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Other side. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Let the record reflect, I think that Mr. Belleville's right, we had a longer pause when
Well,
we
there
hired
was a
Mr.
lot longer
Belleville.
pause. whenever-
Chris, we're not keeping track, we're not keeping track. No, we're happy to have you on board, so congratulations.
Happy to be here.
Move on to 5.2, supplemental contracts, resident educator mentors. Motion to approve supplemental contracts for resident educator mentors during the 26-27 school year per negotiated agreement as presented. We have three, well, actually, seven
Yeah.
individuals there. Any questions about that? These are yearly assignments. Entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Mrs. Conrad Zingmeister moved to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Johnson, second the motion. Any further discussion, questions? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmerer?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.3, this is a motion to approve substitute teacher list as presented. This is just one additional,
I was gonna say there's one more.
Yeah, we had approved, at our last meeting, we approved the list as a whole, and then we had one name come in right after that meeting, so just adding that to it. We are hopeful that we'll have additional names in meetings coming up, because I've had multiple Ohio University students reach out about non-bachelor's substitute license, so we always try to take advantage of that. It's great to get student teachers in the classroom so we can get eyes on them and hopefully do a little recruiting.
strategy.
I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
regarding, this person is also, is on the substitute teacher list, but it's also as an aide as well.
Miss Wright will play, will accompany on the piano for some of our concerts, and that is paid at a different rate than a substitute teacher, so she's on both as a substitute teacher and a sub-aide.
Okay.
The accompanist for the musical concerts is paid as an aide.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Conrad Zingmeister moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. President.
Mr. Kimmer seconded the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmerer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.4, this is a motion to approve substitute classified list as presented. Just the highlighted names there.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
I move that we approve the substitute classified list.
Mr. Smeltzer moved to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. John seconded the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
And Mr. Kimmerer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.5 is a motion to approve a 1 day of leave without pay for Lindsay Badgley on January 15th, 2027. Any questions? If not, need a motion to approve.
Move that we approve the one-day leave for Lindsay Badgley.
Mrs. Johns has moved to approve. I will second that. Any questions or further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmerer?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Motion passed. Item 5.6, this is a motion to approve 5 days of leave without pay for David Sinfin on September 25th and 28th and October 5th, 6th, and 7th. If there are questions, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the 5 days of leave without pay for David Steffen.
Mr. Kimmer's moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smeltzer, second the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Singmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.7 is motion to approve amendment to the 26-27 athletic handbook as presented, effective retroactively to August 10th, 2026, as mentioned by Mr. Belleville. Any other questions on that item? Not need a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the amendment to the athletic handbook as presented.
Mr. Smeltzer's moved to approve. Motion, do I have a second?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Singmeister, second the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Singmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.8 is a motion to approve a superintendent's agreement for the enrollment of a non-resident student with Lakewood Local Schools, effective retroactively to August 13th, 2026.
So moved.
Mrs. Johns moved to approve. I will second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Singmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.9 is a motion to approve resolution 2026-004 declaring transportation impractical as presented. I believe we've had this
We've had this in the past,
issue in
yes.
the past
Mhm.
before too. Any questions or comments? I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mrs. Conrad Singmeister moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Kimmer, second the motion. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Conrad Singmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes,
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
motion passed. 5.10 is a motion to approve a contract with Reach Educational Services LLC to provide educational placement for a student. Document is there for the review. Any questions? There are none. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the contract with Reach Educational Services LLC to provide educational placement for a student.
Mr. Kimmer has moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smeltzer, second the motion. Any further discussion? Not, please call the roll.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Singmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.11 is a motion to approve a quote with DataServe XFAC to migrate our current endpoint detection for staff devices to a managed solution with DataServe at a cost of $50,538.04 for a 28-month term plus a one-time cost of $3,662.92 for professional services. The 28-month term is set to line with our current term for other services they provide us, including managing our server protection and our cyber liability coverage. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Christie put basically what I emailed her in that.
Verbatim.
So basically, cyber liability insurance is kind of pushing everybody towards this managed endpoint detection service. And this is a company that we've been working with for about just a little over a year, and they've now introduced this managed service for staff devices. So thought it was a good opportunity to take care of, because currently we've been doing it on our own. And it's been okay. We haven't had any issues with it, but to get another set of eyes on it, as far as cyber liability is concerned, is a good idea. And like I said, it's something that they're recommending. So just another thing off of our plate to have to worry about.
Extra layers of protection in our day of AI.
Yeah.
Any questions? Now I need a motion to approve.
I move to approve the quote with data serve, but I'm not gonna say all that.
Okay.
And I will second it.
Fair enough. Second by Mrs. Johns. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.12 is motion to approve UHC contract renewal as presented.
So this is, we went over our contract with United Healthcare when we went over rates in June, but it takes them just a little bit to get the paperwork done. So this is now the paperwork to approve the renewal with United Healthcare, along with our stop loss.
And did we change the stop loss amount, or did it stay the same?
We did not.
Okay. It's still the same as
It's
last
still
year?
the same as last year, yes.
Okay, thank you.
We looked into it, but in the end, we did not.
Yeah, I couldn't tell in this document whether it had actually changed, so I appreciate that, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions on this item? If not, we'll need a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the UHC contract renewal as presented.
Mrs. Johns moved to approve. I will second that. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Motion passed. 5.13, motion to approve August 2026 forecast assumption and notes. Mrs. Nolan, you have the table.
I have the floor. Okay, the table, yes. I'm not gonna stand.
Really fine.
Okay, tonight I'll be presenting the August 2026 forecast. As your interim treasurer, my role this evening is to walk you through the numbers and highlight a few high levels of interest. I've worked closely with our Forecast 5 software representative, who he also works with many of the school treasurers throughout Fairfield County. So to ensure that the forecast is as accurate and reliable as it can possibly be. I do want to provide a little context as we begin. Because we're presenting this forecast in August rather than November, as we have in previous years, a number of the figures are projections rather than actual results. A November forecast naturally has the benefit of several additional months of actual revenue and expenditure information. So as we review the numbers tonight, I encourage everyone to keep that timing difference in mind. At the same time, I want to provide some reassurance that our Forecast 5 representative is comfortable with the projections and the methodology used to develop them. So as we move through the year and have more actual information available, we'll be able to refine the forecast and provide an increasingly accurate picture of our financial position. The February forecast, which will be the next one we'll review, will give us a much clearer view of actual revenues and expenditures. By that time, we also hope to have a better understanding of how some of the new legislation may affect Ohio public education and ultimately our district. My goal tonight is to simply provide you with a clear overview of where things currently stand, identify the areas worth monitoring, and give us a solid starting point as we continue to monitor the district's financial position throughout the year. So, with that said, we'll focus primarily on the abbreviated forecast on page 23. I would also, even though we're going to kind of focus on 23, I also encourage everyone to review the key assumptions and notes throughout the forecast, as they provide additional context and a deeper understanding of the numbers and the factors that went into these projections. Line item 7.020, highlighted in blue, shows that our cash balance remains positive throughout the entire forecast period. This is an important point and reflects the strong fiscal stewardship that district administration and the board have demonstrated over the years. That responsible approach has put the district in a position to better navigate the ups and downs that can come with changes in school funding. Moving on to line item 6.010, shows deficit spending beginning fiscal year 2028. However, we have many opportunities to offset this current forecast projection. First and foremost is the $13 million transfer made back in June of 2025 from general fund to the master facilities plan. Those funds could potentially be transferred back to the general fund if the need arises. This was something the board discussed at the time of the transfer, with the understanding that some of those funds could potentially be moved back if the future circumstances warranted it. While transfers will not completely eradicate deficit spending throughout the forecast, it can be one tool in our pocket. Similar to the conversation we had regarding health insurance premiums this past June, I think it's helpful to look at the forecast from a long-term perspective. We may have savings available to help manage some increased costs, but relying solely on those savings would only postpone the underlying issue. Ultimately, we want to make sure we are addressing changes in costs thoughtfully and developing a sustainable plan for the future. I personally have great confidence in our superintendent and our new treasurer, our administrative team, and this board working together to evaluate the options available to us, determine where transfers may make sense, and identify opportunities for savings when appropriate. It is also important to remember that addressing deficit spending is not solely about reducing expenditures. Revenue changes can also play an important role. This August forecast was developed using a significant amount of estimated revenue. We have yet to see the full actual revenue come in for this fiscal year. And like I said at the July recap, that income came in a little higher than expected. So, that's something that can be potential again for us moving through the year. The property tax valuation renewal in 2028 is one factor that could have a significant impact on our overall forecast. Our last renewal was in 2025, and our total valuation increased by 25.27%. In 2022, the increase was 18.63%. However, the forecast is currently estimating 15.44% increase for the 2028 renewal. If this increase is closer to the 25%, it will not only affect our rates with property tax reform, but it'll also make us look like a wealthier district and could potentially negatively affect our state funding. The wealthier a district, the less state funding a district receives. However, if it stays close to the forecasted 15.4, you can see on line 1.010, our funding would continue to increase, albeit a little bit slower than historical averages, but it could potentially increase. On page 9 of the forecast, you'll see that our projected enrollment is projected to remain relatively stagnant throughout the forecast period. This is an area worth monitoring closely because enrollment can have a meaningful impact on our state funding and is one area where the district has opportunities to continue strengthening. As a formula-funded district, additional students generally result in an additional state funding, which is what we're accustomed to seeing. We are a formula-funded district at this time. However, if we move to a guaranteed district, which is what is projected in fiscal year 2029, we would initially receive the base cost funding until our enrollment growth brings us back to a level that supports formula funding. That base cost funding has not been updated by the state since 2022. So you can imagine how inaccurate how far off those numbers are. So we're hopeful that the next biennial budget in 2028, the state will provide an update to that, which could also have a positive impact on our future projections. Because right now, we're just having to project what the state says is the base cost throughout the entire forecast. So hopefully in 2028, that base cost could change, which is what we're hearing is a huge push from school districts all over Ohio. So we'll see. Finally, in the forecast, I just want to touch on expenditures. I want to be very clear that while it is appropriate for us to closely monitor expenditures during a period when property tax reform and state funding are still evolving, this forecast is not suggesting that immediate personnel reductions are necessary. So there's no, need to worry just yet. Rather, this is about being proactive and making sure we have a plan. Fairfield Union has done an excellent job of being fiscally responsible, and that strong history has given us the ability to navigate periods of uncertainty. Continuing to look thoughtfully at our expenditures simply helps ensure that we are prepared and have options available if circumstances change. On page 15 and 16, you'll see that an annual average growth rate of 15.25% is projected through fiscal year 2031 for line item 3.010 in personnel services and line item 3.020 in employee benefits. These are two areas that administration will want to continue monitoring carefully as we look at staffing, benefits, and overall costs. The board has already begun conversations around health insurance, and we saw the impact of those rising costs when we received our insurance renewal estimates this past June. Together, these two line items represent approximately 79% of our expenditures as shown on page 14. So continuing to manage these costs thoughtfully and responsibly can make meaningful difference in our ability to manage future deficit spending. So that is the August forecast in a nutshell. These are certainly areas we'll want to monitor, but I also think it's important to recognize the many positive factors we have working in our favor. The district has demonstrated year after year that when administration, staff, and the board work collaboratively, we are capable of making thoughtful decisions to put the best interest of Fairfield Union at the forefront. We have time, we have options, and we have a strong history of responsible fiscal management. I am confident that by continuing to work together and staying proactive, we can navigate the changes ahead and make the decisions necessary to maintain the financial health of the district. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Appreciate it.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
Any questions? I do have one.
Mm-hmm.
This might be more for Mr. Belleville. Knowing that our enrollment stayed flat for many years, I mean, we all talk about we're one farm sale away from a development that could change all that.
Mm-hmm.
What's our capacity to kind of absorb that growth without hiring more teachers at every single grade level?
Staffing-wise, I think we're in pretty good shape. We are seeing this year, our kindergarten numbers are extremely low again this year. First grade, we're in our normal 150-ish range. Second grade was also a low kindergarten group a couple years ago. So we have two smaller groups at the elementary level, but our class sizes kind of outside of those two grade bands are in that 25 kids per classroom number that we always shoot for, and that goes back to when Mr. Davis was here. We always tried to shoot for a class size of 25. We're seeing in multiple grade levels, we actually had to close open enrollment because class size was 27, 28, 29 kids in a class, which is higher than we want it to be. I think we can absorb some numbers at the high school level where we have students going to the Career Center or Workforce Development, more and more students doing College Credit Plus. We're starting to keep some of those through dual enrollment, which is a good thing. But we have more space at the high school than any other building. The one building where we are space-wise completely capped is our middle school. It is packed. Large class sizes throughout. Again, we have two smaller classes coming, but if we had a large development hit our district, I would be concerned about just physical space for more students. I think we could take on another 100, 120 students depending on the grade level. We touched up close to 2,000 students a couple of years ago. We're 1,900 some now. So I think we could absorb some, but we're in a peculiar place where if we had too many more, we would need to look at adding staff. But like at our elementaries, we don't have many open classrooms. We actually need space for preschool classrooms. Those rooms are full. So, you know, it's one that we definitely are monitoring.
When the forecast talks about enrollment too, I know we talk about, you know, like a farm and a development, and that could be like 100 students. 10 students can significantly impact a forecast. So, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily a huge development. It could, you know, positively impact us even at 10 to 20 students.
Good enough, thank you.
Just to kind of piggyback on this, The budget process will start in January of 2027. That impacts the forecast come 2028, as Amy shared. I'm hoping, should know in the next week or two, hoping to be back on the legislative committee at BASA. So I'm hoping to be heavily involved in that process of working with legislators to try to, advocate for not only Fairfield Union, but public schools in general. But we'll start to know more about potentially what school funding will look like starting January, February. The state budget has to be signed by the governor by July 1st of 2027. So we'll have a pretty good idea in the spring where things are heading and what that might mean for us. So even though the next forecast is February, we will hopefully have some updates continuously through summer about where things are standing with the budget at the state level.
And page 29 goes into some of those pieces of legislation in regards to property tax reform. So you can read those details too on page 29 of the forecast.
Thank you.
The other big sticking point, of course, will be a new administration coming in
Right.
and the governor's office. So,
Right, all the unknowns that come along with
yeah,
that.
that's a lot of it'll be interesting, a lot of unknowns there.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Belleville, I know that you mentioned low enrollment in our kindergarten, but I'm hearing that from other school districts as well.
Throughout the state, that is a very common thing right now, that we are seeing low enrollment numbers. I've seen more home school requests come in this year than normal. So whether that is families keeping students home for homeschool, obviously vouchers have played a huge role in education in Ohio, so we know there are students going to private schools as well. But also birth rates are lower. So, one of the things that I think could potentially impact us, whether a development would come to our community or not, we see developments happening all around us. I could see a push in open enrollment to our district, even if we don't have a development. I think much to the credit of our staff, I think academically, the reputation of our district has grown significantly in the last 5 to 10 years. Report card reflects that, those type of things. So as other districts around us grow, I think we could see a larger interest in open enrollment coming to Fairfield Union. So that is something else that we'll have to look at. There's a lot of unknowns there, but you are correct. I think a combination of birth rates is impacting every school, but I think there's a couple other factors there as well that have impacted enrollment.
It's very expensive to raise a child these days.
Well, you brought to light, with the open enrollment, I never give it the consideration that, a neighboring district could be wanting to open enroll, so didn't give that thought.
I think we're still running 3 to 1 students coming into our district in open enrollment versus students leaving our district in open enrollment. And I don't think anyone around us comes close to that. It's significant, the desire to come to this district.
And would you say, once they come, they're here?
Yep.
They stay?
Even
Which is
putting
good.
on
That's
our,
a good
yeah, no,
sign
it's
for
a good
us.
point.
Yeah.
Even putting in our change to open enrollment a couple years ago where families have to apply twice. And then after the second time you're here, since we put that in, it's probably been 4 years now, I can think of maybe 2 or 3 instances where someone didn't apply for that second time to stay. So generally, once people come here, they stay here.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Sure. Thank you, Ms. Nolan. And that looks like it moves us into executive session.
We need to
Motion.
vote.
No, we gotta act on it, don't we? Guys, keep me straight here, I'm getting excited. Need a motion to approve the August 2026 forecast assumptions and notes.
I move that we approve the forecast.
Mrs. Johns moved to approve.
Second.
Mr. Smeltzer seconded the motion. Any further discussion or comments? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you for keeping me on my toes. Now we'll move to executive session. This is adjourned to executive session in accordance with section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code to discuss which items?
I don't need an executive session unless you need one.
Well.
Hmm. I don't know.
I don't know that we need one, do
I
we?
don't think so.
All right.
Well, thank you, Mr. Charles. All right.
Well, we're gonna get out of here at 7:10, wow. Sorry.
I'll
I
replace
couldn't
the
help
clock.
it.
I will replace the clock.
He heard about how fast I went when he was on vacation.
Exactly. Oh, sorry.
All right, well, that moves us into closing items. Next meeting will be Monday, September 14th, 7 PM back here at the district office conference room. And other than that, any other things that we need to share? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Mr. Smeltzer's moved to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister seconded the motion. Any further discussion? Now please call the roll.
Mr. Smeltzer?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad Zingmeister?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Johns?
Yes.
Mr. Kimmer?
Yes.